AI can replace humans who are letting AI replace them. In general, startups are something that you're building from the ground. So whenever someone is starting up, they know the hardships are gonna come, the tough days are gonna come in. It was Rajasthan's first IT magazine. Maybe tech media was born out of a need that people wanted to know more about gadgets and tech and all that. The power of technology has gotten in the hands of the common man. I would say in layman terms, what VR and AR is. Now AI has been the buzz of the town, but I guess it's about time we go into deep tech. We always say that China is the biggest competitor, biggest competitor. If you want to really consider China competition, you have to do what they are doing. Government has a certain structure of working, and startups are built on pace. So to make sure that they both work in hand in hand, there has to be a common platform where they both could come in and talk. You cannot make a person do what they don't want to do. It has to come from within. But there would come days when you don't have the results that you wanted. So what do you do? So I am a person who does not believe in regrets. I think my journey has led me to this point. If you're trying something new, if you're building a startup, you're bound to fail. I'll be just blunt about it. You are bound to fail.
टेक इंडस्ट्री का मतलब सिर्फ गैजेट्स और एप्स से नहीं होता, ये उन लोगों की भी कहानी होती है जो इस इंडस्ट्री को शेप करते हैं. So today on Safar Baaton Ka new episode, we have with us Mr. Vighnesh Taunk, who is a visionary, a tech entrepreneur, and the digital media head of ITVoice. Thank you so much, sir. We are glad to have you here. So let's talk from the very beginning. Let's start from the very beginning. What attracted you towards technology? Was it a device, computer, a phone, a website, or whatever?
So ever since my childhood, I have been attracted to gadgets. Like my dad had a IT firm, so I was privileged in that sense. I used to play a lot of games while growing up, so I was always stuck on my computers, trying paint, playing games, and all that. And I had access to internet quite early. Like when I was in fourth or fifth standard, that was time when I first had access to internet. So I was always drawn closer to technology and gadgets and all that. And I took up C++ in my 11th and 12th standard. That's when I started to get into coding. And ever since then, I've been into tech. That ignited that spark. Okay, this is something very interesting here. I want to build things myself. The power to have that. So that's what drawn me to technology at first. From ever since childhood, I've been close to tech. And I think the turning point was for me when I picked up C++ in my 11th and 12th in high school days.
So ITVoice was an idea that you were sure about, या फिर entrepreneurship over the time start हुआ?
So ITVoice is, as the name says, it's voice of IT. So this was founded by my father in 2008. It started as his passion, like to ensure that technological awareness gets to the market. It was Rajasthan's first IT magazine. I was very little back then, but entrepreneurship, I would say, has been in my blood for some time. My dad is a businessman, and कहते हैं गुजराती लोग तो businessman होते ही हैं. But मेरा ऐसा था कि after graduation, I wanted to try my hand at corporate job, learn those skills, and then come back to entrepreneurship and scale those business. So in my capacity at ITVoice, I had the digital media domain. I started what we claim to be India's first daily tech news OTT. So I had the digital part of it. We run a YouTube channel where we do a daily tech news bulletin. We also do a podcast series where we invite top CXOs and IT decision makers and ensure that their messages reaches to the mass audiences. So what started ITVoice was technological awareness, and to this date, it's about technological awareness, bringing technological awareness to the ground. And I would say that rather than print media, digital media makes it exponentially easy to reach masses. So that's why I had the vision that maybe after COVID also there was a push that digital media is the way to go. So that's how I got into it, and my idea was to make ITVoice digital.
So back when ITVoice started, it was not a very mainstream form of media. Like technology till date is not a very integral part of media. So how did you convince people that this is the future of tech maybe?
So there's an interesting story behind it. Like each one of us buy a gadget. Like you buy a printer, you buy a laptop, and all that. So earlier in those days, there was not YouTube. People did not go on the internet and research stuff. Like there was a need for a credible platform where I could know, okay, if I want a printer, these are my needs. What's the best printer? So that started with that vision. Ki if anyone wants to know what's the best new product in the market or any upcoming product in the market, so that was the vision behind it. Ki there is a publication that goes around, and anyone who reads it on a monthly basis, they would know what are the gadgets in town. Any new thing happening, a company has launched a new software, all that. That was the vision behind it. So maybe tech media was born not out of I would say it was born out of a need that people wanted to know more about gadgets and tech and all that. And that's where ITVoice came in. It started at Rajasthan's first IT magazine because Rajasthan is called one of those backward states, but it is always associated with jewelry and all that. But I think it's about time we call it the land of IT also, because we have so many companies going up. And back then, when ITVoice started, the vision was that to ensure, okay, people who want to know about tech, they have a platform to get to tech. So that was the whole idea behind it.
So, from the last decade, what do you think? What all has changed in technology or tech communication?
So I have a very simple fund. I would say 2000s we had the photo, 2010s we had the video, and now after video we are now AI, AR, and all that. So earlier it was text. Before that it was text. We had text form. Then we had photos on the internet. Then we had videos on the internet. Now we have a combination of all that. So tech has been growing at a rapid scale, and now with the advancements in AI, it's not growing linearly. It's growing exponentially. So everyone has seen the change in tech. Internet was not accessible way back then. You had 4G, you had 5G. Now everyone has internet on their phones. The power of technology has gotten in the hands of the common man. So it's I think as a tech media, it's our responsibility to ensure that people use it in the right way and they are safe with the number of scams going up and all that. So technology has been growing at a faster pace. So media also keep up with that level so that yeah, the people, common people is aware about what is happening in the world of tech. So that's I think that's the main change that has come in the tech world. Otherwise, there are a lot of advanced the gadgets itself. Earlier, you had phones, now your smartphone could do all the things. You had different gadgets, you had a camera, microphone, all that, but now just a small piece of phone can do all that.
You just spoke about evolution of technology, changes in tech. So currently the changes which we are observing is AI, VR, AR. So what would you like to tell about these terms to people who are not aware about these terms or somebody who's trying to get into tech or who's passionate about tech?
So AI is what you call artificial intelligence. VR is again virtual reality, and AR is augmented reality. So I would start with the easy ones first. So VR and AR. The name is pretty self-explanatory. It's virtual reality. It's not your real world. You create a world where it's all virtual. You put on goggles and then you go around. You can shop stuff and all that. So Meta, all these companies are heavily investing in the virtual reality and augmented reality space. But I think people still not, other than the gamers, I would say, no one has accepted these AR, VR gadgets as of now. So VR has been AR, VR has been the industry for quite some long time now. Let's say you pick a field called architecture. They were interior designers, they used to hand draw stuff. Then came in AutoCAD. You had these 3D models. Now let's say you want to build your new home or new office. Best would be you put on a VR goggle. You see, okay, this is what my new space would be like. So that's the advancement VR and AR has brought in. So VR and AR is basically virtual reality or augmented reality where you could envision what you want to build. Maybe you could, going forward, Meta did try this. You could have a shopping mall. You want to shop for stuff, you open an app, you browse for products as of now. Maybe the virtual experience, what it does is you can just put on your goggle, you go to a shopping mall, you can put on a dress on your 3D avatar and all that, and you can just click buy now and that will be delivered to your doorstep. That's the new age shopping experience that could come in with the advancements in VR and AR. So that's, I would say in layman terms, what VR and AR is. Now AI has been the buzz of the town. AI is what you call artificial intelligence, and human intelligence, artificial intelligence, similar to that. So artificial intelligence is not real, but it's something trained on human intelligence only. You teach a kid 5 things and he would know, okay, after 5 times this is what I have to do. You can teach that to a computer now. That's what artificial intelligence is. Let's say you want a script writer, but the AI does not know what kind of script do you need. You feed them the 5 previous scripts that you have done. Okay, these are the segments that I do. Now please tell me the next script. So once it's learned of you, then the intelligence works. So AI is nothing but transferring your human intelligence to a computer. Earlier computers did not have the capacity, but with the advancements and the speed of processors, GPUs, we have that now. The computers are learning at a much faster pace than they could earlier. That's what I would say AI is. We could talk about AI all day, but AI is not something that I could just summarize in about 10-15 minutes. That's about it.
So, a very debatable question. Do you think AI can replace humans?
Um, I would say yes and no. There's not a straight answer to that. AI can replace humans who are letting AI replace them, but it's about keeping up with the pace of technology. Like as I explained to you, there are multiple parallels to this. I explained to you about AutoCAD. Earlier, people used to draw hand charts, then came in AutoCAD, now 3D AR VR. So, architects who wanted to stay relevant to the field, they had to adapt to that. Farming, people used to do by hand, then came in cows, then came in tractors. Now there are drones also. So, technology in every field is evolving. AI is now coming to the fields of these coders and all that also. So people who want to stay relevant to the market, they have to adapt to that change. As simple as that. Technology is there to help us. It has always helped us. Earlier, if you were to plow a field on your own, that could take a lot amount of time. Now with tractors and all that, you could do it at a much rapid pace. Drawing a parallel with AI, if I want to build a website, earlier it might would have taken me a month, a week with the WordPress and plugins. Now with AI, I could do it in less than an hour. So Yes, people who don't want to learn AI, it would replace you. But people who want to learn, they have the zeal. Okay, I want to know what's next, what's next. Who can keep up with the pace? So AI won't replace them. We need someone to build the AI or work with the AI. I think we are still a little far from the age where AI would start working on its own. It is about to come, it would come, but it has not come as of now. And on that date as well, you would have someone running the AI, teaching the AI what to do. So, yeah, the market would change, the type of job would change.
So it's not a job destroyer, it's a new job creator.
Definitely, it's not, some jobs would be gone, but other jobs would be coming in. So, you have to level up for that pace.
So where do you see AI in the next 5-10 years?
See, there's a term Jensen used it in his last launch at CES. It's called agentic AI. So you would have these agents. You have your employees now, but then you could just tell an AI agent a task, and they would complete it on its own in your own time. You could tell them, okay, in the next 1 week, what you have to do is you have to go and scrape these sites for me. You have to prepare a report for me based on these articles and all that. You could just tell the AI, give it a task what to do, and it would deliver it to you. So you could talk to them as a person only. So that's what agentic AI is. So that's the next step to AI that we are seeing. Then obviously humanoids, robots, and all that could also come in. You could have a house help who could do all your chores and all that. That's again AI, but that AI also has to be taught what to do, where to do, and all that. But the next step is agentic AI. That would be a software or an agent who is trained to do multiple tasks. All you have to do is just tell him what to do. And maybe that agent AI could be the brain for a humanoid going forward.
So let us move to startup rather than going into the tech. So how is the startup journey for you when it comes to ITVoice? I'm sure कि dark days रहे होंगे. There were times when no one watched the website. There were times जब किसी ने नहीं देखा होगा उस चीज को. So how were those days and how did you come up to now?
So, about me, I graduated in 2019. I worked at a MNC firm in Bangalore. Then I worked at a startup in Gurgaon, and there I had a lot of learnings. So, in general, startups are something that you're building from the ground. So, whenever someone is starting up, they know the hardships are gonna come, the tough days are gonna come in. You have to just keep pushing through. So, in IT Voice perspective, I never had that startup sort of feeling. So, IT Voice had been an established brand, but what we initiated was a digital media part of it. I started a channel with 0 subscribers. Today we are at a good amount number. We had 5,000 subscribers now. We have a good amount of followers on LinkedIn as well. People know our brand. So while it was sort of a startup only, the digital media part is still my baby. It's still growing. But yeah, we had the challenges. We were not getting the numbers that we wanted. We were like, we are doing everything on pace. We are doing right amount of script, right amount of quality, right amount of video. Why the video is still not working? We had to analyze that and get back to our team. So whenever you're starting up, the end result does matter. It gives you a push to keep going forward, but you have to know in your mind ki, okay, I'm not perfect. If I'm starting up something, I'm not the expert of it. I have to do some hit and trial. I have to just be keep at it. And that's what worked with us. Ki we never let our hope die down. We were like, we will figure it out. No matter how many tries it would take, we will keep trying. We will try. We had the idea. If you believe in your idea enough, okay, this is something that could definitely work. Maybe your execution, that could be a little different. You tweak it a little bit, and it won't just might work like that. So in startups, you have to believe in the idea itself. The results are secondary. If you are confident in your idea, then you just have to keep at it.
So everybody wants to become an entrepreneur. Everybody likes being their own boss, whatever. So for students of our teenagers like us who are willing to start something on their own from complete scratch, but they're afraid of failures, what would you like to advise them?
I read a quote that says ki if you have never failed, you've never tried something new. As simple as that. So if you're trying something new, if you're building a startup, you're bound to fail. I'll be just blunt about it. You are bound to fail. There are no, if you are even traversing, you would not just go like this. It has to be like this and this and this. So it's plain and simple. Failure is bound to happen. You accept the fact. But how do you overcome failure? So again, a cliche quote. I guess Newton said that. Ki, I've not failed 99 times. I found 99 ways that would not work. If you're building something, you're trying to you work your way of something. Okay, this is the ideal way. So if you are failing, you found a way that would not work. So maybe next time you don't do that. That's when I said hit and try, hit and trial. You keep at it, and one day, if you are confident on the fact that this idea is sound on its basic principle, it is bound to work. You just have to keep at it. So to all the people who are looking to start up and all that, just believe in yourself, believe in the idea. Okay, I have thought it through. This is definitely work. If I grind at it, keep grinding at it, it would work. But there are both success and failure stories. You would find startup that did not work. But the people who came out of that, I would say a failing entrepreneur has much more learnings than any one of us. He knows what to do next because he has tried so many ways. With the next startup that he would do would definitely work. Would definitely work. The story of Blinkit. It started as grow first and all that. It never worked. But the Blinkit idea, it has just now worked like crazy. The quick commerce thing, Blinkit is the pioneer for it. But before that, if you look at the journey of Albinder, I would say he had a very turmoil point. For 10 years, it was not working for him. He had raised funds, but the end goal, it never wasn't him. But Zomato acquired it, and now it's working like crazy. So that's a startup. You keep at it. You have to believe in your idea, and you have to keep at it. So if you really want to start up, the part of failure, you have to actually it's a part and package of the parcel only. You have to understand I would fail, but yeah, I'm ready for that.
So जब हम टेक और स्टार्टअप की बात करते हैं तो रिसेंटली एक स्टार्टअप महाकुंभ हुआ था. सो इन दैट पीयूष गोयल कमेंटेड दैट आर वी मेकिंग लाइक आर वी गोइंग फॉर डिलीवरी बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स ओनली. सो is it Indian startups should work for the electric mobility or 3D or something that is related to tech like China is doing? So what are your comments on that statement?
See, that's where media comes in, I would say. Piyush sir, honorable minister, his message has been taken otherwise left and right. I don't know for what reason. If you were to listen to his whole speech, you would understand what he meant. He said that what these guys are doing, delivery boys, he would not call it startup, it's entrepreneurship. You're building a business. That's also good for the economy. He wants that. As a nation, we want those startups as well. It's good for us. It's building convenience. But I guess it's about time we go into deep tech. We always say that China is the biggest competitor. Now, if you want to really consider China competition, you have to do what they are doing. And not just do what they're doing. Do better than what they're doing. Beat them at the game. So it was sort of a reality check for all of us, for me as well, for all the people in the startup community. Okay, what we have done till now is good, but we need to do great, we need to do better. That was his message. Some people were against Mr. Piyush Goyal, some people like, okay, I am backing him. Aman Gupta, founder of Boat, he said that. I was there at the speech. That is not completely what he said. If you listen to his whole speech, you would know. He was praising us, but he was demanding more from us. Why? Because he believes in us. He wants the Indian youth to take charge now because it's time we hit it. It's time to encash all that we have been building up for last 10 years now. Now it's time to take it up to the next level. That was his message. So it's about we get a reality check. Okay, we cannot be just complacent. Okay, we have done already well. So there's no space for room for growth. If you want to grow, you want to know where actually you're at. So that was his message. Okay, we have done well till now. What you're doing, this is also great. But this is not innovation in his terms. It's if you're opening a new ice cream business, that was his line. Well, that's business, not startup. So entrepreneurship and innovation startup, that's are two different things. That's what his message was. So I think pros and cons. But let's focus on the pros. And we know where we lack. Deep tech, yes, India has the potential for it. And we have the right amount of people for it. But I would one more thing that people look for support from the government. If government is asking for something from the common people also have the right to ask something of support from the government. So government is also trying, the common people is also trying. It's about working hand in hand, and definitely, I think not China, US, if we, the people of India, conjointly, if we think that we can do it, I think we easily can.
So as you said that people, they want government to do something for them, they seek help from them. So how do you think that media firms like ITVoice, they could bridge the gap between policymakers and what realities do startups face?
So there are a lot of summits and talk show panel series that goes on. So the thing with government and working, it's about government has a certain structure of working and startups are built on pace. So to make sure that they both work in hand, there has to be a common platform where they both could come in and talk, right? So there are multiple platforms for that, but maybe no, as you rightly pointed, media could bridge that gap. Media could tell, okay, there is a government policy session that could go on and you could just drop in your thoughts there. Or government could reach out to media, okay, we are looking for this next policy change, we are maybe we are looking for the next startup in the AI VR space. So could you get in touch with some AI VR startups? So we could get those people. So recently I was also a part of a government policy discussion where someone from the government team who was a part of the committee invited a lot of startup entrepreneurs, and over a Zoom session they could just talk it out. So if you were to like, okay, let's meet at a place and do that, that might not be possible for startup founders. They are looking to execute on pace. So a Zoom call, a video call, a part of technology only. Through that, this bridge could be gapped. Media has the data, media has the outreach plan. So maybe government, startups, and media comes in between, as you rightly pointed. And media, what media can done is ensure that the masses message reaches to the government. And if government has a policy, let's say government does a lot of things like there are multiple ways they want to fund a startup. There are multiple policies or programs that go on. STPI they have a body, MIT they have a body. If you're looking for funding or starting up, government provides a lot of resources for that. They would provide you an incubator, they would provide you with funds and all that also. It's about, even if one was just a simple Google search, they would know about it. It has to come from within also. If I'm as media house, I'm letting out information in the world, but for people who does not want to learn, they would not learn. So yeah, I would say ki government is also doing something. They are also far from perfect. The startup world is also far from perfect. That's what gives a room for growth. So yeah, that's about it.
When we talk about entrepreneurship, ये बहुत ही booming सा topic है. That is why ये Startup Mahakumbh की speech भी इतनी ज़्यादा viral हुई थी. So there's so much pressure today when it comes to making the next big thing. So do you feel कि ये hustle culture हमारी country के लिए अच्छा है या for every student who is hustling for something?
The hustle culture comes from within. I think it's not a culture you can develop. It has to come from within. You cannot make a person do what they don't want to do. It's about, it has to come from within. If I want to work for 7 days a week, I want to work for 7. That's my call. No one can force me to do it for it. The Gen Z culture, Gen Z generation that we have, they're very open-minded. They have seen the world already. They make the decisions, and that's very good for startup culture. So the hustle culture, I mean, if you're building something great, if you want to really do something great, you have to work for it. You want six-pack hours, you have to go to gym for 7 days. Anything and everything comes at a price. Same goes for this. The hustle culture, I think it has been a little glamorous to told people, but it comes at a price. People have to know that you have to skip your social life. You have to make time for it. You maybe not meet your friends and all that. That has to be done because the thing that you're building, you're passionate about it. So it's not that you're sacrificing. You would want to do that. So person who is actually building something, for them it won't be a sacrifice. They are with full consciousness choosing, okay, I want to do this. That's why I'm picking it. Since they have made the decision, they are okay with it. So for them, it might not be hustle as well. They are doing something that they really want to do. That's about it. Now, if I were to go and tell you guys to do something that you really don't want to do, you might not. The hustle has to come from within. And the person who is actually hustling, for them, it's not a hustle. It's just passion. They are at it. They want to build it, and they're just after it. If I really want to eat an ice cream, I would go 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 12 kilometers. I would not call it hustle. I just want that badly. So that's for a startup. If I want my company to reach that certain goal, then I would work for it. And for me, it won't be a hustle. That's just my goal. I'm passionate about it.
So let's talk about innovation. ITVoice, it started as a very innovative idea, and there's this side of innovation which is lack of learning or failures, or sometimes we also feel burnout. So in that cases, what do you do? How do you overcome that burnout if you ever feel so?
See, burnout is a very real thing. I would be open about it. Sometimes you're working really hard, and when you have the results, it's a good push. You have the results, you keep working on it. But there would come days when you don't have the results that you wanted. So what do? You go back, you sit back with your friends and family. You have a good time with them. You go out for a dinner, you meet your friends, you talk with them. You have a good time there. I would not call them distraction, but yeah, to take your mind off things. Maybe because if you take your mind off things for a while and then you come back at it, you could have a different idea. So the easier way to burn out is, okay, yaar, I have worked for, let's say I work for 18 hours straight. My body needs rest. If I'm working 7 days straight, if I could take one day off, just hanging out, that would re-energize me. So that's all a person does not have to take guilt for that. I'm just re-energizing myself. I'm refreshing my mind. And when my mind is refreshed, my body is refreshed, I could do a work a lot better. And with a fresher mind, obviously, I could maybe have a crack at it better. So burnout does happen. But yeah, you have your social community, you have your friends. You go to startup mixers and all that. You talk to people. And that's how you take care of burnout. You like ice cream, you eat it. So personally, I really like ice cream. So if I am struggling with something, I'll just take a step back. I would just have some ice cream. I'll sit for a while. Because my mind will be like, okay, now we are in a relaxed mode. We are not stressing about it. And then when I go back at it again, I would solve it easier. So I've been an engineer, I'm a coder. So in coding, we have these problems. यार ये कोड हो ही नहीं रहा है, मुझसे हो ही नहीं रहा, एंड वी टेक अ ब्रेक, वी सिट डाउन फॉर अ व्हाइल, एंड व्हेन वी कम बैक एट लाइक ये तो इतना सिंपल ही था. So you just have to take a step back, contemplate, rest, easy, and then when you go at it, the burnout is all gone.
So it's important to be still before hustling.
At your own pace. Like the thing is, people compare themselves a lot these days. There is no right way for you. You have to define your own right path. For someone, working 7 days straight might be best for them. For someone, they could get the same amount of results working by working 4 days and relaxing for 3 days. But if that 4% guy would compare कि यार वो तो 7 दिन काम कर रहा है, मैंने 4 दिन ही काम किया, तो वो अपने रास्ता नहीं बना रहा, वो उसको कंपेयर करने में इसका टाइम निकल जाएगा. तो दैट कंपेयरिंग थिंग, यू वॉच वीडियोज ऑन द इंटरनेट, यू ऑल दैट, सो यू थिंक यार वो तो इतना कर रहा है, मैं इतना कर रहा हूँ. यार यू आर ऑन योर ओन पाथ. इफ यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट ऑफ द वे यू आर वर्किंग, यू कॉन्फिडेंट ऑन योर आइडिया, you could do it at a better pace. So be back yourself and do it in your own way. Define your own path. Be unique about it.
Out of everything जो आपने बनाया है आज, whatever you have achieved, is there anything, a person, a message, or anything that has stayed with you and always reminded you कि this is why I started?
Oh man, that's a tough one. But see, for me, entrepreneurship was always something like I know कि यार long term में तो मुझे यही करना है. And I have only one person to thank for my father, Dr. Tarun Taunk. I have seen his journey. I have seen him work hard, and to this day, he works harder more than me. I mean, I have seen him go at it. He does multiple things, multiple ventures, and all that. तो बस वही है कि यार, if I'm at it, then I want to make him proud. तो वही एक message नहीं है, but हाँ, he has always been there to support me. He has always been there to teach me. And now that we are working together, I just want to build something that makes him proud as well. And definitely, he started ITVoice with the mission to bring technological awareness at Rajasthan's level. He made it to Pan India, and last year, with God's fortune, we made it to it international. We were the official media partner for Jitex Global. We have been working with ICANN, that's the body for Internet Corporation for assigned names and number. So we have been bringing those technological message on a global scale now. Also, through your podcast, I would like to tell your audiences that now you can get a domain registered in Hindi as well. .Bharat in Gujarati, Hindi, Tamil. So there's a body called UASG, Universal Acceptance Tourism Group, that has worked very hard. And now, because there was a study that only 12 to 15% of people search on YouTube on English. Rest, all the Indians would search in their native languages, Hindi or other languages. So suppose you have Flipkart. Now someone wants to buy a sofa. They would not type in Hindi. They would type in English. They would type in Hindi or the native language. There's a lot of market to be explored in that sense. So if you have native domains in native languages and all that, you could potentially reach the masses in India. So ITVoice has been pushing that message also. So for me, the ITVoice venture is about bringing technology awareness, making sure the youth of my country, the people of my country, know what's going in the world of tech. And now with the pace that tech is advancing rapidly and people are on their phones all the time, I think we are at the right place at the right time, and it's about time we hit it big.
So with ITVoice being such a big name in tech, being one of a kind, where do you see ITVoice in the next 5 years?
I think ITVoice in the next 5 years would be doing what they're doing right now, just at a bigger scale.
Lastly, what would be the advice to your younger self when we go back in time?
So I am a person who does not believe in regrets. I think my journey has led me to this point. The decisions that I've taken, good or bad, both, they have made me the person I am today. If I were to go and tell my younger self, I think I would, in Marvel term, alter the timeline. I would not be the person I am today. So maybe just I would tell him ki, yaar, maybe take a chill pill. You can relax a little bit more. But yeah, it will happen.
So any advice for the students, young ones, जो entrepreneurship में जाना चाहते हैं, tech में जाना चाहते हैं, anyone?
यार देखो, tech is the place to be. We are living in a digital world, and tech तो यार अब हर जगह आ ही गया है. तो this is something that you can definitely come in. But if you come in, as I've said earlier, be prepared. It's not all fancy. If you're coming in the tech world, you have to keep learning. So maybe in other fields, there is a certain thing that you can learn. For a doctor also, इतना पढ़ लिया, तो you could be a specialist about it. Legal के अंदर इतना पढ़ लिया, accountant में इतना पढ़ लिया, तो there is a limit to it. But in tech, there is no limit to it. यार, we are still, I'm also still learning. हर चीज को नया आ जाता है. तो if you're coming in the tech world, be prepared to keep learning.
Thank you so much. So tech is here to stay. Keep growing, keep calm, and we'll again meet you in the next episode on Safar Baaton Ka. Thank you so much, sir.